Hi everybody. Blame Dave the coach. I don't know if any of you have come across Dave the coach. His challenge to me this year was to finally get up and speak. So Dave, this is for you. It's all your fault. Sorry guys. Okay, a bit about myself. I'm here to talk about occupational health. It's been very maligned and misunderstood by employees and employers. It's a industry that I have started working in the last 4 years. 4 years ago, I knew nothing about it. I'm a fast learner. A little bit about myself. Originally trained as a PE teacher. I know that's hard to believe looking at me, but I was a PE teacher at one point. Worked for 15 years. Then set up my own business running a childcare business. And then worked as a PA for a gentleman who ran Enable Works, and then moved my way up from PA through to running the company for him after he sadly passed away after a battle with cancer. So why? I sit there going, how did I end up where I am now? Why? Why does a teacher end up running an occupational health company? And for me, it boils down to being passionate about people, passionate about children achieving their potential at school. I was always the one that ended up with the rebels in my class, the ones with no PE kit. Miss, I can't do it, or I can't get changed because I'll ruin my hair or whatever. They ended up in my class. We had an absolute ball. I then went on and ran my childcare business. Ofsted tried to tell me what I had to do, but I was passionate about children being allowed to be feral children. Leave them alone, let them play, let them have the space to learn and to develop. There's that passion again about people, children achieving their potential. Occupational health, what on earth is that? So there started my learning curve about occupational health. Looking after people in the workplace. Who here employs people or has people working for them? Okay, not many of you, but most of you are employed by somebody, yes? Everyone had an experience of a good work experience and a bad work experience. Everybody knows what a bad work experience looks like. Has everyone had experience of a good work environment? Yes? Please say yes. Restore my faith in work. Does anybody know what it costs when you have, for example, if you go off sick for 6 months? Does anybody know what it costs a business? Any business directors here? No? Yes? Do you know what it costs? Yeah. Okay, minimum wage, $11.44 an hour. Somebody goes off sick for 6 months. Who wants to hazard a guess? How much do you think it costs? Okay, they've gone off sick for 6 months. They've ended up handing in their notice. You've got to recruit somebody to go into their place, but you've also had to replace somebody in the workplace. Pretty close. 18,500. That's somebody on minimum wage. Okay, it goes up and up and up depending on the salary you're paying them or you're being paid. Okay, so it's a lot of money. So for me, it makes no sense at all not to look after the staff that you've got in your business or working alongside you. Because again, has everyone heard the phrase health and safety? It's everybody's responsibility. Yeah. What about the well-being, the health and well-being of your staff and your colleagues? And shouldn't that be everybody's responsibility too? Yeah. To me, it doesn't make sense. It's a no-brainer. You know, £18,500 when somebody goes off sick. That's the cost of replacing them. But there's a lot that can be done to keep people at work and keep people healthy. And it's well-being, occupational health, health and safety, HR. All of these things should work together to keep somebody safe. Okay, how many people here think if you're referred to occupational health, that's it? I'm on the way out. They're trying to get rid of me. Yeah? If somebody said to you, I'd like to refer you for occupational health, what do you feel? Dreaded. Yeah. Okay. Who else here dreads that? Would dread being sent to occupational health? Yeah. Okay. What we need to try to do, businesses need to think of occupational health as another tool in their toolbox to help you look after your staff. You are trying to avoid at all costs losing that member of staff because of the implication, the cost implication. So it starts with well-being. We've all heard of the well-being initiatives, the talking and walking, so your meetings are moving around. We've all heard about, making sure your staff eat healthily. They've got a proper lunch break. Health and safety is there to make sure you meet all your all the legislative duties of care and all that kind of thing. All right. So that's well-being. The next step is, okay, so you've got somebody who's really valuable to your company. Some of you will be sitting here going, oh, well, we're only a small company. We can't afford that. But if you're a small company, losing somebody from your workforce is even more detrimental. You're in a lesser position to be able to weather that storm of £18,500. That could break you. So it's even more important that you look after your staff. Okay? So what does occupational health do, or what can they do for you? So you might have someone who's very valuable to you. They've come to you and said, just been diagnosed with cancer, but you know what, I'm not going to let it stop me. I want to work through my my treatment and da 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 da. And you as an employer go, oh, okay, right. How do I handle that? Occupational health can help you. They can help you understand what their treatment looks like. They can help the employee be realistic about what their treatment plan is going to look like and how it's going to impact their work. So occupational health can positively help you support somebody valuable in your business and keep them there. It might be they're going through a divorce. Okay, that's not easy. Is there divorce lawyers in here? Family law? No, but it's not easy. Stress, anxiety, all of these things impact somebody in the workplace. Are you going to be the employer that gets uptight because they're late? They're stressed, their productivity's dropped, or do you think a referral to occupational health could perhaps support them with that? So you'd refer them to occupational health, they'd have an appointment with them. Hopefully, if they're a good occupational health provider, they will have a meeting with them, they'll talk to their line managers, they'll make suggestions and give you an action plan for moving forward for supporting that individual. It might be that they just need for the next couple of weeks to start at 9:30 rather than 9 o'clock. It's a very, very simple adjustment to make when somebody's experiencing anxiety, because all of a sudden there were 2 people to do the drop-offs in the mornings for their kids at school, and now there's only 1. And they're having to rush to get to work, and it just doesn't fit in, that adjustment period. But for you as a business owner or a CEO or a manager, it's much better to keep them there. Okay? Stress, anxiety, and depression, 750,000 plus last year were off sick with stress, work-related stress, anxiety, and depression. That's quite a big number, and that was 300,000 plus was new in the 1 year. So the year 2023 to 2024, which ended, I think they take the figures to February 2024, over 750,000 were off on long-term and new anxiety, stress, and depression. Okay? 300,000 new every year. And the figures for small and medium businesses are going up all the time. They talk about a 6% increase in that in 1 year. So what can you do? Okay, health and well-being in the workplace, occupational health. Why? All right, so we all know that the NHS is in trouble, yeah? We all know that trying to get a doctor's appointment and all the rest of it is 2-3 weeks, but in the meantime, that employee is at home, or you're struggling with your mental health or your physical health until you get the appointment. Let's try and avoid it happening in the first place. That's why health and safety is there. Occupational health can kick in a lot sooner than a GP appointment quite often, okay? Occupational health can also write to GPs and get information that you as an employer can't get, all right? From an employee's point of view, okay, you're allowed to ask for an occupational health assessment. If you think you are struggling and you think you may benefit from it, you can ask and say, do you have a policy about this? Is this something that I could do? So again, occupational health, you can ask for that, all right? And what should happen afterwards is you get your report, your employer will get it, you get it first, so you get to see it as an employee. They get to see the recommendations, you get your own recommendations as well, and you get a plan. So there's a plan for the employee to move forward, because remember, you as an employee have a responsibility to make sure you're fit for work, but also as an employer, they have a duty of care to make sure that there's nothing happening at work that is impacting your health condition. So there's all sorts of things there. But you should get the information to move a situation forward and have that open conversation, employer to employee, about what this person needs. Okay? I've gone completely and utterly off piece there, but so essentially what we're trying to say is that if all three work together in a business, so if you've got health and safety in your business, which we all have because it's everybody's responsibility, well-being needs to be everybody's responsibility, because the better your workforce is, the higher your productivity, you boost morale, increased everything in a business, and the less you need occupational health. So I do myself out of a job, really, but my passion is for people, and I would far rather people were happy, safe, well looked after at work. Think back to the time when you felt the best when you were at work. You felt valued, you felt supported. Yes, you probably had a fairly decent salary, because that's, at the end of the day, financial security is the topmost what people need. They need that financial security, but you will get more from people, and you will find that you give more to a company when you feel valued, when you feel supported and looked after and appreciated. Am I right or wrong? Yeah. So again, this all boils down to my passion, to helping people, regardless whether they're an employer, helping you as an employer or a CEO with your own health or the health of your workforce, but also about helping people, employees, achieve their potential as well. And we're all much, much better when we feel like we're looked after and supported. Okay. If there are any questions, and I'm just going to rip this up because I didn't need it.
Question. Tammy, I noticed the employee understand why that is.
Yeah.
But do you at all work with small business owners or sell?
We work with small. So again, there's a huge push at the moment for there to be increased access to occupational health for all. So from my point of view, there's a lot of huge occupational health companies out there. We're a small one, but we take a very personal approach, and we believe that as many people as possible should be able to access it. So from our point of view, we do what's called an ad hoc service. So you just phone up and say, I've got this issue, can you help? And I'll say, yeah, okay. Is it occupational health or is it HR? So we have that conversation first. If it's occupational health, we can do a one-off assessment. So that's how we have decided to deliver that. But again, the costs are the same for you. So if you have an employee on minimum wage, £18,500 versus the cost of a an assessment, which could nip it in the bud straight away. And I always have quite open conversations with my clients. I've got quite a few HR people that just seem to have me on speed dial. And they talk through a situation, and where I can, it might be a well at work plan, and it might be something that they can actually implement themselves. So a well at work plan is about, it's traditionally been used for people that have got mental health issues, about supporting in the workplace. But what we're trying to get people to roll out is to do it for everybody, because we've all got our own little ways of working. We've all got our own little ways of, don't say that to me in the workplace, because it's like a red flag to the bull or whatever. We've all got our own ways of what we look like when we're not coping terribly well. Your head goes down and you're furiously typing, and all you want you to say to everybody is, just leave me alone. I'll get through this. I did a wellbeing workshop for a guy, and I put up something about just sitting beside somebody and listening. He went, whoa, that would really annoy me. I just want people to leave me alone. And I said, yes, you put that in your plan so people know. You don't want anybody to ask you questions. You don't want anything. You just need to be left alone for an hour. Put a do not disturb bubble around you. But if you've let people know that's what you need, then that's fine. So this business phoned me up and said, I think I need 2 occupational health assessments. And I said, I think you could have a couple of well at work plans and see how that goes first. So we'll wait and see. She might come back to me needing 2 occupational health assessments, but hopefully I've empowered her and I've enabled her to sort out the issue in the workplace before it becomes. That's exactly. So I know there's a lot there for employees, but from I have to walk a very fine line. My colleague is a job retention specialist. She's a flipping nightmare. You can't do that. I'd advise my employee to do that. No, I'm not going to get them to sign anything. And I'm like, I have to walk a very fine line between the two, because I'm there to advise and support the employer, because at the end of the day, it's the employer that is commissioning the OH services. But what the employer has to understand is this has to be completely non-biased. It has to be open, and has to be the responsibilities on both of the individuals. So the employee needs to give as much information as possible, and the employer needs to give as much information as possible. And if everybody comes in, that's the best way of getting the best result. But the amount of people that phone me up and talk to me, and we often just talk through things, and they're like, okay, I know what I'm doing now. So, yeah, if you do want to phone and talk, I'm always happy to chat to people, and I will tell you if it's an HR issue. They won't go to occupational health. Have you got it written in your policies that it's part of your standard procedure? Yes or no? Oh, right. So, we talk these things through, and I'm not afraid to say, that's not our bag, you need somebody else. Okay, but we do well-being, we do occupational health, we do vocational rehabilitation. So we often work with ABI people and getting them back into the workplace. So everything about supporting people in the workplace, getting people back to work, that's what I do. But I was here just to say, don't give occupational health a bad rap. We're here. Occupational health is there to support employers and to support employees. And let's try and keep more people at work. Let's try and prevent people going off with workplace stress, anxiety, and depression. And at the end of the day, we're all decent human beings. It shouldn't take much. I've said to some of my managers, would you rather spend 5 minutes just saying what's wrong? Oh, but if I ask them what's wrong, it's going to open the floodgates and da-da-da-da-da. And have a box of tissues, sit and listen. 5 minutes out of your day could save 6 months off sick. Sorry, I'll get down off my soapbox now. Anybody else? Brilliant, excellent. I can go.